Good morning, Guardians. The Jobby Gamer here, and yes, I'm sorry, it's Thursday. I know. On the positive side, December's almost over, so things should be quieting down, so it'll be a little bit easier for me to get these videos done on Tuesday instead of Thursday. On the positive side, though, I did manage to do Challenge of the Elders, soloed it, piece of cake, and I've got some suggestions on this one because while it was a piece of cake, it was too much of a piece of cake, and I did not get the needed points because it was too much of a piece of cake. So I got some advice on Challenge of the Elders. I will be giving that when that comes up. But first off, let's start with the usual order. Now, just a reminder, this is Weekly Reset for Original Destiny, not Destiny 2. The first Destiny, my favorite Destiny, the Destiny without the egregious, insane aim assist. Destiny 1, my favorite. I also think it has a better story. Anyway, first off, we have doubles 2v2 multiplayer in Crucible, which I'm gonna go with. That's pretty easy to fill because you only need 4 people for that, so that shouldn't be that difficult. It's not like, you know, mayhem control or something where you need 6v6. And yeah, I mean, I think they go as low as 5 or even 4v4, but you still need a decent number of people. This, on the other hand, you just need 4 people, so it shouldn't be that difficult. And as I always remind people, you still can do private matches. So Sparrow Racing League, just Crucible in general, you can do Original Destiny private matches. So if you really like Crucible in Original Destiny, you have a bunch of people who really like Crucible in Original Destiny, go for the private matches. But doubles, you get a Treasure of Ages box, you get 10 legendary marks. It shouldn't be that difficult to fill. Honestly, I've noticed that the player count in Destiny 2 is, I mean, it's over 100,000 at times, but compared to what it used to be, I'm trying to get people back into Original Destiny but if you like Destiny, come back to Original Destiny. I think it's a great deal. But that aside, no, seriously though, for $60, you are getting everything, and that is a lot of content. Even without trials and Iron Banner, I think Original Destiny is a great deal for what you're paying for. So, Original Destiny, but 2v2 shouldn't be that difficult to fill. Let me know in the comments how it goes. Next, we got one of my favorite things in Original Destiny, which we do not have in Destiny 2, and that is the weekly story playlist. Now, I know you can replay some stuff, but it's not the same thing. I mean, I still love the fact that you can go through the map and pick whatever mission you want, because I'll do that every now and then, because some of these missions I just really enjoy doing. But you got the weekly story playlist, which I have repeatedly called the best way to farm legendary marks. You could get over 100 legendary marks from doing this alone. You get a Treasure of Ages box, which will give you silver dust, ornaments, cosmetics, but in addition, you will get at least 20 legendary marks each time you run a story mission, up to 5 times, and you can get up to 35 legendary marks. It depends sometimes. So they carried over the daily story playlist, where you used to get 15 legendary marks a day, and the weekly, so it combines. So sometimes if you're lucky, you'll hit that daily story mission and you'll get 35 instead of 20, but you get a minimum of 100 legendary marks. Just a reminder, you can only carry 200, so I'm at 190, so I really shouldn't do any of these until I spend some legendary marks, which I need to go back to doing those weekly legendary weapon rolls. Those take a while to make, but that's one of the best ways to spend legendary marks. If you just want to burn through legendary marks, I often buy planetary materials from one of the vendors in the tower. Planetary materials, not only can they be used when you are infusing weapons and upgrading weapons, they can be used each week. The factions change, and each faction will take a different planetary material depending on the faction and the week. So like right now I'm Future War Cult. It might take something this week, next week it'll take something different, so you can use those also to increase your faction ranks. The stories for this week are, because it's based on the campaign, you have the Taken War, which I agree with people. Now, originally I said Rise of Iron is my favorite, but I'm biased because when I finally started playing Destiny, Original Destiny, the Taken War was already out. My first DLC for Destiny was Rise of Iron. I was ridiculously excited about that. But I'll admit the Taken War is great too. So Rise of Iron and Taken War are my two favorite Destiny DLCs. I place it above the Witch Queen, and I've seen a lot of other people say the same thing, but I like Taken War or Rise of Iron above Witch Queen. Except for the legendary storytelling. Legendary story mode, that was great. But Taken War, so you've got match game, enemy shields are resistant to all unmatched elemental damage. You can do whatever. Which, by the way, I did tell you to pick up Zalo Supercell last week from Xur. Because you could equip Zalo, and that will give you 3 slots for elemental types. So that will give you 1 of each. You could go with match game. Sometimes for match game, instead of using a rocket launcher, I will at least at the beginning use a machine gun, so that will give me more bullets so that I have 1 of each elemental type. Match game. Then you have Brawler. Guardian melee damage is greatly increased, which does include, and I keep pushing this one, the Hunter's Throwing Knife. Honestly, I like the Hunter's Throwing Knife a lot better in Original Destiny. I hate that flourish for Destiny 2, so you have to kind of keep in mind that there's that momentary pause. Knife Juggler, precision kills with Throwing Knife immediately reset its cooldown, and Brawler will increase the damage on the Throwing Knife, because the Throwing Knife is the Gunslinger's melee attack. So, go for Knife Juggler. Just a good one to have. And Heroic, enemies appear in greater numbers and are more aggressive. You're going to be getting random missions from the Taken War. Just great to do. And go with the Throwing Knife. Then we got the SIVA Crisis Heroic, which, again, every time I have done these, I have been paired with people. So there is people, contrary to what people say, there are people playing Original Destiny. There are a lot of people playing Original Destiny. I highly recommend it. I know that usually people tell me they like Original Destiny. So I'm always matched with people. Usually from the beginning, once or twice, I was put into a team a couple minutes in. So it's never like all the way at the end. And he's kicked. Oh, God. Anyway, enemies appear in greater numbers and are more aggressive. Oh, wait, give me one moment. Let me just... I need to stop that alarm because every time I don't need it anymore, I just keep forgetting to delete it. Anyway, I've always been matched, which is great. But at the same time, I know there are tricks to be not matched. I was hoping to also not be matched. So anyway, the modifiers for the SIVA Crisis Heroic are heroic enemies appear in greater numbers and are more aggressive. Then you have Void Burn. Void damage from any source is greatly increased. You've got Fresh Troops. Some enemy squads have been fortified with additional reinforcements. It's noticeable. It's always noticeable. Fresh Troops, whenever... I've always noticed there's more. And then Catapult Grenade recharge rate is greatly increased. And if you do these, I've always found it interesting that you get less reward for SIVA Crisis Heroic Strikes. You'd think you'd get more rewards than Story Playlist. Story Playlist is a lot easier. But, you get up to 30 legendary marks and a Treasure of Ages box. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I personally prefer the strikes in Original Destiny. I think that the bosses are more creative, the strikes are more interesting. I actually like the Original Destiny strikes. I could still run through SIVA Crisis Heroic and not get bored, whereas, honestly, I am bored with the strikes in Destiny 2 at this point. Anyway, next we have the weekly Nightfall strike, which I did not check, so this is my own fault, so you get to see it in real time. What is the Vanguard Nightfall? So, first off, as we are loading into the Nightfall, a reminder to pick up the bounties from Zavala. If you're going to run the Nightfall...
The House of Devils marked you as public enemy number 1 after you trashed their prime servitor, but your old friend Sepix Prime is...
Oh, Sepix, so...
apparently better than ever, thanks to the Devil Splicers.
Just a reminder, I always remind people to pick up the 3 bounties from Commander Zavala. Zavala has 3 weekly Nightfall bounties that you have to pick up.
Time we return to the scene of the crime.
It's you need to go back to you need to go to Zavala to pick up these weekly bounties. There are bounties for the Nightfall on the bounty board, but you need to pick up those specific weekly ones. You need to pick up those weekly ones specifically from Zavala. Then the rest you can pick up from the bounty board. So it's the Devil's Lair, Cephix Perfected, which is on Earth. They brought it to Destiny. Well, they brought a different version to Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has Cephix Prime, which is the original version. It's the Devil's Lair, which, by the way you do it, this is the original version, the Devil's Lair. Then if you go here and you increase the light level, see Cephix Perfected. So it is Cephix Perfected is the Nightfall. The modifiers for the Nightfall are Epic, heavily shielded and highly aggressive enemies appear in greater numbers. You have Arc Burn, which again, I hope you picked up Zalo Supercell from Zer last Friday. I highly recommended it. I always highly recommend Zalo Supercell. Zalo Supercell is one of my favorite guns. Arc damage from any source is greatly increased, and Zalo is great for Arc Burn. Then you have Specialist. Special weapon damage is favored, so go for an Arc secondary as well. Juggler, no ammo drops for your equipped weapon, which I have said is both a bad and a good. On the bad side, you have to constantly be juggling your weapons. On the good side, you will get more heavy ammo and secondary ammo, because when you have your primary weapon equipped, primary ammo will not drop. So I have noticed that when Juggler is in effect, I get more heavy ammo. So that's the positive to Juggler. You just have to remember to rotate your weapons. But with Specialist, that's great, because then you'll get more special weapon ammo. And if you picked up Zalo, when you're not using your Specialist and you're using your primary, you'd have the arc damage favor because of Zalo. Love Zalo Supercell. I think, wish it's not, Risk Runner is not Zalo Supercell. Okay? Then finally we have Airborne. Players deal more damage while in the air. So, Vanguard Nightfall. You also get those sparklies around your head when you beat the Nightfall. Cephix Perfected was actually the first Nightfall I managed to do in under 30 minutes by myself. It's not that bad. Maybe I'll try to do it again. I don't mind Cephix. Cephix Perfected is a pretty easy one to go for if you want to solo a Nightfall. It's not that hard. Like I said, I managed to do that one in under 30 minutes. And while I can solo Nightfalls, I'm not the greatest at it. But Cephix Perfected is pretty easy, so if you want to go for a solo Nightfall, I would recommend this one. Especially if you picked up Zalo Supercell. Next, we have the Challenge of the Elders. Now, the Challenge of the Elders, the modifiers are Berserk, minions of the darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. But we don't have Cabal, so that's not a problem. Then we got Grenade Kill bonus. Grenade kills are worth more points. And finally, Solar Burn. Solar damage from any source is greatly increased. Now, the bosses are, first you have Hive. So, Dark Blade of the Hive. Basically, it's that Dark Knight, just Hive. Then you have the Prime Servitor, so Fallen. And then you have Taken Hive. Psylocke the Defiled thirsts for your life. Now, as I said, I have a couple of suggestions about this. First of all, you have Solar Burn, right? If you go with your throwing knife juggler. Now, the bonus is Grenade Kill bonus, okay? Grenade Kill bonus. However, if you go with knife juggler and as you can see, it says you have Solar Burn. If you go for knife juggler, you have Solar Burn. Knife juggler is your solar melee kill. You will get the points for precision kill and melee kill. The points for precision kill and melee kill is the same as a grenade kill with the bonus. So whether you get a grenade kill and get the bonus points, or you get a precision melee kill with your hunter's throwing knife, you get the same amount of points. So let's say you throw your grenade and you don't have constant grenades, you can then throw your throwing knife. And if you have knife juggler picked, precision kills with your throwing knife immediately reset its cooldown. So you can keep throwing your throwing knife, getting those points, and it's more reliable, honestly, than a grenade kill bonus, at least for the hunter. So I would recommend go with knife juggler and alternate between grenade kills and throwing knife kills. That's a great help. The other thing, I would not use Celestial Nighthawk. Now, when I will be uploading a video where I am soloing this, I used Celestial Nighthawk, and I regretted it, because the problem is you need to go through every round of reinforcements to get the points. Or not every round, but you need as many of them as possible. And Celestial Nighthawk does, with the solar burn, does far too much damage on the boss. You will burn through rounds of reinforcements. You will kill the boss too fast. I managed to do the entire run of Challenge of the Elders in less than 30 minutes. I didn't get the points I needed. I got pretty close. I got 24,000. But I probably would have gotten more if I hadn't been using... Now, I would say go with Gunslinger, but not Celestial Nighthawk. Just triple regular golden gun instead. Because you will burn through the boss with this thing ridiculously fast. And it's already pretty easy, because honestly, Berserk is only a problem when you're dealing with Cabal. And with the solar burn and the throwing knife, I was one-shot killing the minions easily. The only thing to keep in mind is, first of all, you're not going to one-shot the wizards for the hive. Those, I was going with grenades and my fusion rifle. And Shanks. The second boss, the fallen boss, the Shanks are not precision kills. So don't waste your throwing knife on the Shanks, because then it will not automatically reset your cooldown, because it does not count as a precision kill. Just keep that in mind with the Shanks. Do not use your throwing knife on Shanks. It's great to get precision kills and have your throwing knife reset, because then you could get just non-stop precision melee kills. And again, that is the same amount of points as your grenade kill bonus. I mean, at the end, it was like 240 points per grenade kill, or 240 points per melee precision kill with your throwing knife. So that's my advice. I did have equipped, I happen to have Abyss Defiant, but I really didn't need it. I just was using it to make it even easier. But you really don't need to use Abyss Defiant. I mean, I would go for a solar secondary. I would go with, something to go against the wizards, the hive wizards in the first round and the third round. They can be a major pain in the butt. Honestly, I use a rocket launcher on them most of the time, because, they can be a pain in the butt. But other than that, piece of cake. Was too easy, in fact. I will be uploading my solar run of it, as I said, less than half an hour. So that's Challenge of the Elders, and then finally you have the weekly featured raid, Heroic, Golgoroth Challenge, Oryx Challenge, War Priest Challenge. Oh my god, my brain is freezing. King's Fall. That would be King's Fall, which I've actually never done. King's Fall in Destiny 2. Let me know. Do you recommend it? Is it better than original Destiny's King's Fall? As I said, one of the things that has really, really started to turn me off of Destiny 2, aside from the garbage story and the grind, the non-stop grind, is the aim assist. And I have to agree with people who are like, yeah, I'll play Destiny 2 when they get rid of the aim assist, because I have noticed that it negatively impacts other games I play. Like, I mean, original Destiny. I need to play original Destiny a while after Destiny 2 to get back into not relying on the ridiculously overpowered aim assist. And I would love... I mean, why is it other games allow you to turn it off? Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and wow, this is 20 minutes long. I hope to see you in the tower.